So the L right here is important because that's your designated angle, so that's where you're going to put your arc. Put arc on L. And then from there, label sides. Then label sides, and you're going to label them in the order opposite, hypotenuse, then adjacent, because then you won't mess it up. So then from this arc, we have the opposite side. This is the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the longest side, and it's also up across from the 90-degree angle. And then this here is our adjacent side. Then to make these ratios, we need to use SOHCAHTOA. So write that on your paper and don't misspell it because then it'll mess it up. SOHCAHTOA. Chris, can you not talk, please? Okay, and so now we need to make the ratio. So cosine is AH, so I'll put A over H, so that'd be 4 over 5. Tangent, OA, so that would be O over A, 3 over 4. And then sine is OH, O over H, so that would be 3 over 5. And that's all you have to do for that problem. So as long as you can identify the designated angle, label your sides, use SOHCAHTOA, you can make those ratios. Okay, then from here, this is where we bring in the calculator. Just practice using the calculator. This question's on the test. It says use the ALEKs calculator, or this one is fine, to evaluate each expression. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Hundredth is 2 decimal places. So, no. And so in this calculator, you would just, if you put it in this order, like sine 67, you get nothing. You have to put it in backwards. So you do 67 sine, and you will get the answer. And it says 2 decimal places, so that would be 0.92. So we write down 0.92, or you type that in the box. Next, cosine of 16. So you just do 16 cosine, 0.96. And then tangent of 55, so you do 55 tan, and you get 1.43. Like that. So use calculator. So just make a note to use the calculator. Okay, next, so just flip over the page. Now we're going to start solving some problems. It says a kite is flying 75 feet above the ground and its string is pulled taut right here. The angle of elevation is 42 degrees and it's labeled right there. Find the length of the string, round your answer to the nearest tenth. Gabriel, you're distracting me. Can you take your AirPod out and just focus up here, please? Thanks. Okay. So something that's different here, it says angle of elevation. I think for all of these problems, it'll have a picture that will help you. But angle of elevation and angle of depression is part of the standard. So I want to just kind of outline it just in case they don't have a picture. So let's say so draw a little picture over here. Let's say we have some grass. Then we have a cliff or something. And then we have a person on the cliff. Then we have like a line of sight right here to the person. And this right here is angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. Then from the person, there's also what's called an angle of depression. So the person's line of sight like this, and then this here is called angle of depression. Like that. So when it's referring to that angle, that's what it's referring to. But what's nice is they did give us a picture, so we can use that picture to figure out this length here. And so what we're going to do you guys got that down? Oh, wait a second. You're not listening to me. Okay, arc on this angle here, and then from here we have the opposite and hypotenuse side that's labeled. And so I need to decide whether I'm using sine, cosine, or tangent. So I write down SOHCAHTOA. And so we have O and H, so that means I'm going to use sine. So I'll write down sine of 42 equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, and now I need to solve it. This one takes an extra step to solve because I have x as a denominator. So it's a good example because it's like the harder example. So we will multiply both sides by x, trying to get x by itself. You get x sine of 42 equals 75. Like this makes the x cancel, so we get to this format. And then from here, I need to get x by itself, so I'm dividing by sine of 42. Divide by sine of 42. And I get x equals 75 over sine of 42. Once I have it set up like this, it's just a matter of plugging it in the calculator. So yeah, we do 75 divided by, and then I'll do 42 sine, and then hit equal one more time and it'll calculate it all together. So again, I did 75 divided by 42 sine, and then I hit equal, and it puts it all together. So x equals 112. It says round to the nearest tenth, so that would be 112.1. Okay. Then the next one is an easier version of this. It says find x, round your answer to the nearest tenth. So nearest tenth is 1 decimal place. And so from here, make an arc on the angle that's labeled, and then label your sides. So we have opposite and adjacent. And so from here, I'm deciding whether I use sine, cosine, or tangent. So O and A, I'm going to use tangent. So tan of x equals opposite over adjacent, 15 over 10. Okay, then to solve this, anytime I'm solving for the angle, I have to use inverse. So like tan of -1, 15 over 10. Or we're using the second tan button. So in the calculator, it would be, zoom out so you can see the whole calculator. I'm doing 15 divided by 10 equals to get that decimal, and then I'll just do second tan, 56.3. So again, I did 15 divided by 10, and then second tan, and 56.3. So x equals 56.3 degrees. Okay, then this one, very similar problem. It shows this airplane. We're trying to figure out this degree right here. So draw an arc here, and then we have opposite and adjacent. O and A, we decide which one of these we're going to use. Oh, sorry, can't see that. Okay, so I'm looking at this. O and A means I'm going to use tangent again. So tan of x is opposite over adjacent. So 128 over 191. So to find this degree measure here, I'm going to use the inverse. Like that. Or like second tan. So in here, I'll do 128 divided by 191. And then second tan. And I get 33.8. So x equals 33.8 degrees. Like that. And then the last two are just for honors, so you can cross those out. I'm going to have you guys leave this out so that way I can give you credit for it. There's one more thing I want to show you.